Brilliant. Lovely to see you this morning. Right then, team. So this one was inspired by an interview I listened to, I think it was last week, with the wonderful Diana Henry, who's like the doyenne of food writing and recipe developing. She writes for the Telegraph, I think. In fact, this whole interview has cost me a subscription for the Telegraph online because I suddenly realised how much I missed reading her recipes. But anyway, she was talking about her life, and she's had quite a torrid couple of years. She had breast cancer in the middle of COVID and was treated successfully for that, so that thankfully she's now been given the all clear. But having just recovered from that, she then developed an autoimmune disease, which nearly killed her. She was in hospital, she's very, very ill, and she was in the intensive care unit for 5 or 6 weeks, I think she was saying in the interview. And it left her cruelly with an inability to taste, and food, the texture of food felt very peculiar to her. And obviously in her job, that was doubly distressing, hard enough for anyone, but doubly distressing when your life is food. And she was talking about how she dealt with that and overcame it. But when she was finally released from the ICU and was coming home, finally, her friend said to her, right, Diana, you know, you've been in hospital, you've struggled with all of these issues with taste and texture. What would you like to do? Which restaurant do you want to go to first? Because that's surely the first thing you want to do, is to go out for a wonderful meal and finally enjoy food again. And she said, the first thing I wanted to do when I left hospital was to go outside and to hear the wind in the trees and to feel the sun on my face and to be in nature. And a lot has been written over these last couple of years about the restorative powers of nature. And it really struck me, I was listening to it on a particularly beautiful day, just how nature has the power to heal, and how restored we can feel sometimes when we've been for a beautiful walk, or we felt the sun on our face after a particularly gloomy period. And the question again was asked of her, have you changed your life in any way? Has the experience changed you in any way, being so ill? And she said, yes, I look up more. And she said, I realised I spent most of my life looking down here, looking at my phone, scrolling. And again, linked with nature, looking up, seeing the trees, seeing the scenery, seeing the sky above me. And I was walking around Romsey the other day, and everyone I passed was looking down, without exception. Everybody was looking down. So if this class we do anything, maybe in your stretches, try looking up if your neck feels nice. It really kind of adds to the stretch. Obviously, if that's not nice for you, then keep your gaze in a more neutral position. But just by tucking your chin in, you can really get a little bit more. And maybe after the class, look up. If I passed you in Romsey, I expect you to be looking up at the sky. It's very uplifting. And psychologically, it's very good for us. So let's start our Diana Henry nature-inspired class today by easing our way down. Oh, it's been a full moon as well, so we're going to have a nice grounding practice to begin with. So ease your way down. If you want to bring your knees with you and have a little massage, a little rock on this chilly morning, side to side, or a little circle of the knees, just releasing any tension in the lower back before we begin this morning, feel free. And then just let your feet come to the floor. And again, if your back feels tight, you can always keep your feet on the floor. Take them wide apart so your knees can prop each other up. Or if you want to stretch your legs out, go ahead and stretch your legs out. So allow your toes to roll open, your heels in, so there's a little space across the hips. And as it's chilly, let's see if we can warm up from the inside by placing one hand on our chest, one hand on our belly. Slide your elbows out to the side. So if you've got to bring your fingertips just out to the sides of your body so you can really rest your elbows down on the floor. Go ahead and get nice and comfortable. Obviously, if you'd rather have the hands alongside you, then feel free to do that. Maybe tuck your chin in, lengthen the neck, adjust the back of your pelvis. Close your eyes if that's comfortable for you this morning. Just start to bring your awareness to your breath. Life force within us, that's chi, prana, oxygen, whatever we want to call it, warming us up from the inside. And if you are in a chilly room, you might notice a subtle change in temperature. Breathing in the air might feel a little bit cooler. As you breathe out, you might feel that there's a slight warmth as your breath just tickles your top lip. If you're breathing through your nose, the breath having been warmed by the body. So let's start to let go of the week thus far. Letting go of any thoughts about what you have to do after this class. I know I've got a busy day ahead of me, but just laying that to one side, at least for the next hour. Putting aside whatever's happened to you thus far this week, the good, the bad, the indifferent. So we can really focus on this next hour as a real gift to ourselves. So if you're comfortable, we'll start to deepen and lengthen the breath. So allow the breath to come down into that lower hand. Every exhale, just drop the weight into the back of the body. Allow the back of the pelvis to feel nice and heavy. And the back of the shoulders to begin to spread and accept the support of the floor. So the whole body just begins to soften. Lovely, relaxing the face. A whole lot of tension, particularly when it's cold, around our upper body, our shoulders and our face. So really focus on that this morning. If you are working our hamstrings and doing our leg stretches, just check in occasionally with your upper body, just make sure tension hasn't crept back in there. Lovely. Let's bring the hands down alongside you. Legs stay as they are, palms up towards the ceiling. And just start to wiggle the fingers. A bit of movement into the fingers this morning, and then turning of the wrists. You might prop yourself up on your elbows as you circle the wrist, keeping the fingers moving, warming ourselves up on this chilly morning. Winter seems to have come all of a sudden, doesn't it? And then round the opposite way. Lovely. And then we'll bring the palms down alongside you. And if you've got your legs outstretched, let's bring the heels back in towards us now, snuggling your heels in towards your sitting bones. So go ahead and spread your feet into the floor there. We're just going to start with the upper body and then work our way slowly up the spine. So on your next inhale, let's float both arms back above the head, widening your arms if you need to this morning. And as you exhale, let's bring the arms all the way back down, beginning to sink in movement with breath, beginning to warm up through the shoulders. So continuing now, lifting as you inhale. If you want to add that little arching of your back we did last week, so just lifting your chest up so your upper back lifts from the floor. And then as you exhale, you let the back soften as the hands come down. If that feels nice on your back, feel free to do that. If you want to keep the rib cage soft, then you can do that this morning. So I'm going to add a little arching of my back just because it feels nice to stretch this morning. So inhaling, so I kind of tilt my pelvis forward so I feel a little bit of space between my back and the floor as I arch it very subtly. And exhale, allow my back to settle back into the floor. We'll do one more of those. So hands spread nice and wide, moving with the breath. Beautiful. Lovely. So when your hands come down alongside you this next time, we'll pause. Now we're going to add on this next time. So you can come with me, or if it's too much, you can just come into a shoulder bridge or continue with the arms. But this time as you inhale, let's lift the arms and begin to lift the hips into a little shoulder bridge. So hips and arms lifting off the floor as you inhale. And as you exhale, we'll lower all the way back down, rippling our way down through the spine. Again, if it's too much, you can just work the arms or work into that little shoulder bridge. So inhale, little pelvic tilt, lifting up, fingertips stretching back, knees stretching forward, slowly opening through the sides of the body. And then exhale, we roll our way back down. Let's do that twice more. So every time you inhale, imagine you're peeling each vertebrae sequentially off the mat. Maybe coming up a little bit higher, so your tailbone's level with the backs of your knees. And then as you exhale, that controlled ripple all the way back down. Let's make this our last one. So inhaling, floating the arms up and back. Again, you can take them slightly wider apart if that's nicer. On your shoulders this morning, all the way back down. Lovely. Beautiful. So let the hips come down, let the hands come down alongside you. Now we're going to lift up one more time, lifting hips, reaching the arms back, stretching the knees and fingertips in opposite directions. Feel that lovely space through the side of the body. Option now to lift the heels. Take it easy so you don't cramp up. And then keeping the heels lifted and the arms stretched back, roll the spine down. Imagine someone is lengthening your tailbone down towards your feet. Lovely. And when your hips touch down, let's stretch out one leg in front of us, followed by the other legs. We're in a lovely full body stretch. Have a little wiggle into the hips there. Create again that sense of space in the side body. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, we'll lower the arms and walk your feet back in towards you. Oh, warming up already. And we'll bring that right knee up and in towards your chest. So other foot on the floor, right knee, give it a little hug. Start to circle the knee. Maybe just using your right hand, or you can use both hands if that feels more comfortable. Getting into the hip joints, warming ourselves up this morning, changing direction as you get into that right hip. Just let the lower leg relax so your knee is being steered around. And then we'll bring the knee back in towards the chest, holding on around the back of the leg now. Let's come up into a hamstring stretch. Now it's early days, so keep the softness in the knee. As you bring that movement to your ankle now, we'll start to circle the ankle. Just remembering that warning about tension creeping into the shoulders and the face, just check in that that's not happening as you change direction through the foot. Lovely. Trying to keep the movement in the ankle, not the knee. And then we'll push the heel up towards the ceiling. So feel again a little bit of pressure of back of the leg against your hand, and your hand resisting slightly. Lovely. Opening up through the back of the knee. And then we'll cross right ankle just below your left knee. So you're just coming down onto the thigh there, top of the thigh. And then we'll bring the right hand to the inside of your knee, or your thigh, your inner thigh, and take a little shift of the weight from side to side. So we're opening up into that right hip, rocking from buttock to buttock, just opening up into the hips. Now you can stay here. If this feels really nice, you just want a gentle stretch this morning, feel free to stay there, or come to center and bring the arms out level with your shoulders, so the top of a letter T, reaching the arms apart. We'll take an inhale, and as you exhale, let's drop the legs over to the right side, so that right ankle is drawing the left knee down towards the floor. Inhale to center. And as you exhale in the opposite direction, keep that right knee pressed away from you. So you're pressing it up towards the ceiling. Lovely. Inhale to center. Exhaling over to the right side. Again, right knee leading the way, putting the knee down gently. Inhaling to center. And one more over to the left. So we're pressing that right knee gently away from you, keeping that sense of stretch in the hip. We'll come all the way back through center. Now, option just to bring that right hand back to the inside of your knee or your thigh and gently press the knee away from you. Or joining me in reclining pigeon, lifting head, lifting shoulders, and we feed the hands around the back of that left thigh. Lower your head, lower your shoulders, and just let that left heel drop down towards your bottom. Keep that right ankle flexed, keep that sense of gently pressing the right knee away from you. So you can feel might be a strong stretch in your hip, it might be more benign depending on how tight we are in the hips. A lot of us get quite tight there. I quite like to rock a little bit side to side, but that's personal choice there. Lovely. Let's bring that left foot down to the floor. Last little bit on this right leg. We're going to cross the right leg over the left leg. So if you can, you're crossing above your knee, no daylight between the legs. Arms out level with the shoulders. If your back is feeling a little dicky today, just uncross the legs, bring the feet to the floor. We're going to move our bottom over to the right side of the mat by an inch or so, and then drop the knees over to the left. So you can scoop those knees up towards your belly for a deeper stretch, or slide the knees further away from you to create a sense of release there. You might pick up your head and turn your head in the opposite direction to your knees. Or you might feel that on the outside of your hip, maybe up into your lower back. I can feel this between my shoulder blades funnily enough today. I'll turn my head. Or let's come all the way back through center. I'm going to bring both feet to the floor, square your hips up to the middle of the mat, and we'll bring the arms down alongside us. Let's do a little symmetrical pose after the asymmetry of that before we work the other side. So inhaling, lifting the hips, reaching the arms all the way back. And exhale to lower all the way down. Let's do that one more time. So again, just balancing things out. Inhale, pressing through the feet, lifting yourself up, 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 up. And then as you lower yourself down this next time, hips touching down, and we'll gather the left knee up and in. So adjust the back of the pelvis if you need to. Soften the shoulders as we start those little knee circles with the left knee. So you might just use your left hand to steer the knee round one way. The knee stays nice and still. And then we'll take that round in the opposite direction. You might notice some subtle differences between the right side of the body and the left side today. We're all slightly one-sided. And the knee comes back in, interlacing the hands around the back of the leg. Oh, let's say good morning to the left hamstring. Oh, and start to circle the left foot now. So if you can, the knee stays nice and still, or as still as possible. So we really get into the ankle joint there. Yeah, and then around the opposite way. Making sure the shoulders and the face stay relaxed. And then gently, let's push the heel up and away from you. So you might feel, again, that gentle resistance between the back of the leg and your hands there. And then keeping the ankle or the foot flexed, we'll hook ankle over opposite knee. Left hand to the inside of your knee or your thigh, gently easing it away as you start that rocking from buttock to buttock, shifting the weight from side to side, keeping that knee pressed away. If you don't like to move, then feel free to stay still there, but I just like to add that little rock. Knowing you can stay here, or the next time you come to center, arms come out level with the shoulders, ready for that little twist. So we'll breathe in, breathe out, coming over to the left, first of all. So keep that left knee pressing away from you as it draws the right knee down to the floor. Inhale to center. And as we exhale, coming over to the right, so we're pressing the left knee up towards the ceiling. Sole of the left foot coming down toward the floor. One more each way. Inhale to rock through center. Exhaling over to the left. Inhaling through center. And last time, over to the right side. So ready for that little recline pigeon. So when you come back to the center, you can bring your hand onto the inside of the knee or the thigh and just stay there again for a gentle stretch. Or lifting head and shoulders. This time we catch hold around the back of the right thigh there. Lower yourself down. Try and relax that lower leg so the right heel is just dropping down towards your bottom. Just check in with shoulders and face. I just felt then I'd kind of scrunched up into my shoulders there. And again, you might rock. If that feels nice, you might just want to stay still, just focusing on opening that knee out to the side. Again, it's all kind of personal choice depending on where we're feeling that in our hips this morning. That's it. And then we'll bring the foot to the floor, ready for our final twist. So as you bring the arms out level with the shoulders, option to bring both feet to the floor if back feels tight, or go ahead and cross left leg over right leg. So I'm crossing above the knee. This time we'll just nudge the hips over to the left by a couple of inches before dropping the knees over to the right side. So again, if you scoop those knees up towards your chest, you're going to deepen the twist and the sensations up the spine, or you can slide them away from you to release the tension there. So take a moment to adjust. Just make sure the arms are stretched out. Maybe just slide that left shoulder blade out from underneath you a little bit more. Chest nice and open. That's it. And then we'll roll our way carefully back onto our backs. We'll bring both feet down to the floor. Bring yourself back to the middle of the mat. Give both knees a big squeeze now. Before widening your knees, hooking one ankle on top of the other, and take a little rotation there. Take a little circle across the back of the pelvis. Getting into the sides of the buttocks there. And then change across the ankles, the direction of your circling. You can roll to one side and come up to seated, or catch hold behind your knees and woo, use a bit of momentum to come all the way up. And I'm going to sit cross-legged this morning with right leg crossed in front of left leg. If you want to pop a rolled up cushion or blanket underneath your bottom to lift your hips up, feel free, or stretch the legs out in front of you. Let's bring the fingertips down to the floor. See if you can lift your breastbone, lengthen up through the sides of the body. And then as we inhale, we'll lift the arms, lift your gaze as you take the chin up away from the chest. Exhaling, hands to heart, let the chin drop down. Lovely. Interlacing the hands, elbows lift, inhale. And as you exhale, let's round the back, pressing the palms forwards, dropping the chin to the chest, and just pause there for a moment, getting that lovely stretch between your shoulder blades. Before we rise up on an inhale, taking the arms up towards the ceiling, and exhaling, fingertips down to the floor, chin to chest, getting a little stretch in the back of the neck. Going again, inhaling up, looking up, reaching up towards the sky. Exhaling, hands coming down to heart, chin dropping to chest. Interlace the hands, elbows high, inhale. Exhale, push the palms forward so we sit towards the back of our sits bones. Lovely. Rising on an inhale. And this time as you exhale, right hand down, left arm up and over. And again, you can tuck your chin in and look up and see how that affects the stretch. Inhale to center. Exhaling other side. Obviously, if that's a little bit too much for your neck, keep the gaze down. One more each way. Inhale, reaching up. Softening that right elbow. Let it drop in towards your waist. And inhale to center. Last one. Over to the opposite side. Beautiful. Both arms lifting this time. Breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to twist to the right. So bring that left hand across the body to your right thigh or knee. Gently pressing it away from you. Lift your breastbone a little bit higher as we take that twist. Left hand stays where it is. Let's reach the right arm up. And as you look up, we're going to lean back. So leaning away on the diagonal, pressing down on that thigh or knee. So we've got that lovely stretch through the side body. Let's reach up towards the ceiling. We're going to lift the knees towards you and cross right arm over left arm. If you've got the legs outstretched, you can just hold on to the thighs there. Lovely. So we'll take a nice deep breath in, lifting up nice and tall. And as you breathe out, allow the knees to drop away from you. Drop your chin to your chest. And again, make that little C shape through your spine. You're just sitting towards the back of your pelvis there. Let go of the knees. Allow the arms to float up. So we'll keep them crossed as they come all the way up, like you're taking off a big jumper. And then we'll bring the hands behind you. Fingertips find the floor, pressing down with the fingertips. Maybe lift your chin. Squeeze the shoulder blades together gently so you're opening up through the chest. Beautiful. And then we'll bring the chin down, lean into your hands, give the legs a little shake, and then we'll recross them the other way, left in front of right. And again, if you need to prop yourself up on something, feel free. Fingertips find the floor. One movement, one breath. So inhale, reaching up. Looking up. Exhale, hands to heart, dropping chin to chest. Interlacing the hands, elbows high. Inhale. Exhale as you round the back, pressing the palms forwards. Breathing in, reaching up, maybe looking up. Exhale, fingertips to floor, chin to chest. Lovely. One more time. So reaching up on an inhale. Exhaling, chin to chest, hands to heart. Lovely. Inhale as you interlace the hands. Exhale as you round the back, so sit towards the back of your pelvis. Reaching up on an inhale. This time as we exhale, left hand down, right arm up and over. Maybe chin tucks in as we look up. Inhale through center. It doesn't matter if you're going the opposite way to me because we're going to balance things out. We're going to do one more each way, so no worries. So trying to keep balanced across your sit bones. So just moving from the waist up, getting that nice side stretch. Inhaling up. Exhaling over the top, reaching both arms up now as you breathe in. I'm going to twist to the left. So right hand comes across the body this time to your knee or your thigh. Other hand close to your sits bones so we're sitting up nice and tall, propping ourselves forwards, rolling that top shoulder back. So right hand stays where it is. Left arm lifts this time, and as you look up, we lean back on the diagonal. Getting that nice stretch, gently pressing that knee down. It kind of wants to pop up there, so keep it stretched out. Lovely. As you reach up towards the ceiling, you're going to lift the knees, and this time we cross left on top of right, so you can take hold around your thighs or your knees. Big breath in to lift up nice and tall, and as you breathe out, let the knees fall away from you. So again, you're dropping the chin to the chest and getting that stretch in the back. Try not to overdo that one. It can be a little bit loading for the back. And then we'll let the knees fall away from you. Arms sweep in front of the face, all the way up. Lovely. Fingertips finding the floor behind you. Pressing into your fingertips, looping the shoulders as you lift your gaze, lift your chin. Lovely. And then let the chin drop. Stretch the legs out in front of you. Give them a little shake. And then we'll tuck the feet round behind you so you can find your way onto all fours. Hands underneath your shoulders now. Knees underneath your hips. Now, if you're feeling tight in your shoulders today, just go ahead and take your hands a little bit wider apart. Otherwise, hands underneath shoulders. Let's come into our cat-cow. So keep pressing your hands firmly down as you inhale. Allow your belly to drop. We roll the gaze forwards, chin away from chest. And exhale as you round up like an angry cat. Lovely. So moving with your breath now. Inhaling, heart pulls forwards. Press into your hands. And exhaling, tailbone tucks under, turning the shoulder blades left to right. As do a couple more like that. Tuning back in with your breath, getting that lovely stretch through the front of the body and the back of the body as you ripple back and forth, up and down through the spine. One more time. Inhale. Lovely. And exhale. Let's inhale. Come on to all fours. And as you exhale, we'll slide hips back to heels. Take the arms forwards. Come up onto your finger pads and press your fingertips gently down into the mat, hugging your hips back towards your heels. So we've got that nice sense of length and space through the sides of the body. Lovely. And then from there, we'll walk our hands back towards our knees. So you're lifting your chest. And then from there, we'll lift ourselves up into standing kneeling. So hips on top of knees there. So you can widen your knees just to broaden your base for a bit of stability as you reach the arms up. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, take a little twist around to the right. So let the arms just wrap across the body. Taking a peek over that back shoulder. Inhale, reaching up. And as you exhale, we'll take a little twist around to the left. So again, hands just wrapping behind you. Inhale to center, one more each way, reaching up. Little twist to the right, so the arms just gently float around the body. Reaching up on an inhale and twisting to the left. Lovely. So this time as we breathe in, we'll reach up. As you breathe out, both hands come behind you now. Hands to the lower back, tops of your buttocks. So we'll loop the shoulders away from the ears. So option to stay there. So shoulders stay on top of hips. Or think about lengthening your chest. Lifting your chin. So you're lifting your heart a little higher, stretching through the front of the body. So think about lengthening the front of the body rather than leaning back. Lovely. And then chin dropping down. Let's come back down onto all fours and briefly take an angry cat shape. So round the back just to release the spine there. Beautiful. And then from there, we'll find our way back onto all fours, letting the back come into that neutral position as you tuck your toes under. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, let's find our first downward dog of the day. Pushing the hips up and back, starting with a little pedal out through the feet, keeping it nice and loose this morning. So maybe a little shift of the hips from side to side, a little shake of the head as you press the hands down, pressing into your knuckle pads as well as into the fingers and the wrists there so the weight is distributed. And then we'll bring the feet hip width apart, pop a little bend in the knees, get that sense of stretching the hips up and back. As we do a couple of leg lifts. So right leg lifting as you inhale, turning the toes out ever so slightly. And as you exhale, we'll float the foot back down to the floor. So inhale, left leg lifting. Try not to shift the weight from hands to hands. And exhale to lower. So adding on right leg lifting, inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to bend the knee, let the heel drop to your bottom and take a little peek underneath your right armpit. Straightening the leg as you inhale. And exhale, foot coming down to the floor. Left leg lifting as you inhale. Exhale, heel dropping to bottom. So we're pointing that knee up towards the ceiling, peeping under left armpit. Straightening the leg as you inhale. And let the foot come back down as you exhale. Beautiful. So feet hip width apart. Pop a bend in the knees. Take your gaze forwards. And as you inhale, we're going to step or help that right foot forwards and drop the back knee. So we can flatten the foot there. Beautiful. So we're in our low lunge. You're going to bring your right hand or your elbow to your right thigh there. And then when you're ready to breathe in, left arm lifts as you inhale. And look back as you circle the arm back and down as you exhale. So inhale, arm lifts forwards and up. You can look up. And then exhale, we open the shoulder. Beautiful. Let's do that twice more. So you might be allowing the hips to drop and then lifting the body up a little bit. If that feels nice, there's a little bit of hip stretch going on. Last one, inhaling, left arm lifting and coming all the way back. Let's take that left arm all the way up and then just bring the left hand to the back of your left thigh there. Right arm reaching up towards the ceiling. Now you can stay there or allow the hips to sink down as you reach that right arm back. So you're coming into a little wibble wobble into that almost like a reverse warrior. Beautiful. Both arms lifting up, breathing in. As we breathe out, let's bring the fingertips down to the floor. Coming up onto your fingertips so you can lift your chest, breathing in. Hips moving back as you exhale into that hamstring stretch. So you can keep a nice deep knee bend and the foot on the floor this morning, or go ahead and slide the heel away from you. So we press the heel down, pull the toes to your face, and swing your hips back into the middle of your mat. Oh, saying hello, hamstrings. How are we this morning? Woohoo! Let's bring that foot back down to the floor. Both arms lifting this time. Inhale to reach up. Arms up towards the ceiling. Arms out to the side. Exhaling all the way back down to the floor. So planting the left hand. Let's take the right arm up. So really allow your hips to drop, your chest to come forwards as you reach up. Maybe look up. Breath in. And as you breathe out, let's bring both hands down. Picking up that back knee, we'll step back into our downward facing dog. Breathing in as you lower down onto all fours. As you flatten your feet, let's take your hips to your heels. This time we'll keep our palms flat down to the floor. Now, option to stay here, have a little rest, or join me. Inhaling, coming up onto all fours, little floor flow. Exhale as you lower yourself down. Elbows snuggle into the sides of the body. Press into your hands, lift your chest, little cobra as you breathe in. Exhale, sliding hips to heels. We're going to do that twice more. So if this isn't for you this morning, you can have a little rest. Easing the body down as you exhale. Inhale, pressing into hands, rippling back up. Sliding hips to heels, lovely. Last time, inhaling up. Exhaling, so really keeping the descent nice and controlled. Back onto all fours as you inhale. Exhaling hips to heels, lovely. Let's find our way back onto all fours, tucking toes under, breath in. And as we breathe out, let's find that downward dog again. And again, having that little pedal out, or maybe adding a little twist, keeping under one armpit and then the other as you pedal out through the feet. And then we'll bring the feet hip width apart, ready for that little sequence on the left side. So this time, left leg lifting as you inhale, turning the toes out ever so slightly, and exhale, lowering the foot down. So try not to shift the weight, right leg lifting, toes turning out, exhale as you lower the foot. Left leg lifting as you inhale, bending that knee points up towards ceiling, peeping under left armpit as you exhale. Inhale, straightening the leg up, and exhale, foot coming down to floor. Last time, right leg floating up on an in-breath. Exhaling, heel dropping, peeping under right armpit. Inhale, straightening leg. Exhale, we'll bring both feet hip width apart. You're gonna pop a little bend in the knees, looking forwards. And as you inhale, let's step or help your left foot forwards. You can always use your hands to help the foot to come through. We'll lower that back knee. So this time it's either left hand, or you can just rest your forearm down on the knee. So the right arm, we sweep forwards and up, and you can look up, following the movement of the arm with the gaze, and then exhale, we circle back and down. So inhale, sweeping the arm forwards and up. Exhale, back and down. Now, if that movement's a little bit too generous for your shoulder, you can always lead with a bent elbow, a little softer there if that's a little bit too much. Last one, inhale, so the hips might drop. Beautiful. So we'll take that right arm up, and then swimming the hand all the way around, coming onto the back of your thigh there, or top of the bottom. So the left arm lifts up. You might want to stay there, or again, we allow the hips just to drop forwards and we arc the body back ever so gently, like we're doing a reverse warrior. Beautiful. Let's bring both arms up, breathing in and breathing out. Hands come down, coming onto our fingertips. So chest lifts as you inhale, and we slide the hips back as you exhale. So you might need to walk your hands back towards you a little way to keep the chest lifted. Foot can be flat with the knee soft, or again, you can push that heel down a little bit more firmly, which will increase the stretch. Now my bottom's gone wandering over to the right, so I'm going to swing those hips back to the middle of my mat. The body does like to cheat us. Mine too. Let's roll the foot down. I think it's worse because I know what's coming. Let's sweep the arms up. Inhale, palms up towards the sky. Maybe the arms come down behind the sides of the body. Fingertips finding the floor. Right hand stays on the floor this time. Bring the chest forwards. Left arm reaching up into a lovely twist, reaching up towards the sky as you look up. Big breath in and breathing out, hands coming down. Going to pick up the back knee and step back into our downward facing dog. Beautiful. Inhaling onto all fours. Exhale as you come all the way back down into that child pose. Option to stay there or come with me, inhaling onto all fours. Exhale as you lower yourself down. Ease your way down. Lovely. Chest lifting, gaze lifting. Inhale. Exhale all the way back. Lovely. Inhale and one more. Exhale, thighs, belly and chest. Placing down on the mat, and then we reverse that. Chest, belly, thighs, peeling up. Hips to heels, exhale. We're going to add on this next time. So inhale all the way up. And exhaling very tenderly, coming all the way down. Back onto all fours as you inhale. And this time as you exhale, toes tuck, hips lift, downward facing dog. Beautiful. From that downward dog again, maybe pop a generous bend in the knees. You can really send the hips up and back as you shift the weight into your left foot. Now float that right leg up behind you. Take a breath in, come onto the ball of the underneath foot. And as you exhale, we're going to step or help that right foot forwards between your hands. Drop the back heel in, ready for our warrior two. So as you cartwheel the arms all the way up, let's send the arms out shoulder height. I'm just going to lift the camera a little bit so you can still see me there. Beautiful. Lovely. So sink a little deeper into that front knee, reach the arms out to the side, and then right palm turning up. We'll breathe in and arc the body back and reverse our warrior just as we did before. And as you exhale, hand or forearm to thigh, top arm comes up and over, and again we can look up, tuck the chin into the armpit. Inhale, reaching up and back. So again, we take the gaze up, we've got that front knee bent. This time as you exhale, hand or forearm to thigh, or allow the hips to drop and come down a little bit deeper. Lovely. Let's come back into our warrior two. As you straighten the legs, we're going to bring the hands to the hips and turn all 10 toes to face the long edge of the mat. I'm just going to walk back so you can see me. Now, if your feet are very wide apart like mine, and I'm going to be a bit unstable, so I'm going to slightly shorten my stance. Heels in, toes out. We'll take a breath in. As you breathe out, imagine you're sliding down a wall as we come into our goddess. So just check your bottom isn't sticking out behind you, lengthen the low back. This is from Qigong, so allow the arms to drop down in front of you. It's called parting the clouds. So as we inhale, we straighten the leg and we just float the arms up and we look up as you lift the arms. And as you exhale, imagine you're painting a wall with your hands as you come all the way back down and allow the gaze to drop. So inhale, arms float up. So keep a real softness in the fingers and the wrists. And exhale, coming all the way down again, sliding down that imaginary wall. We'll do that twice more. So it's a moving meditation to ground us, to quite literally earth us. Great one to do in that period of a full moon that was at the weekend. Last one, inhaling, coming back to our breath. And exhale. So we're going to add on this next time. As you sweep the arms up this time, we'll turn all 10 toes forwards. And as you exhale, we'll come down into that forward fold. So again, you might need to slightly widen your stance. If your back feels a little tight today, you can turn your toes in, your heels out, slightly pigeon toe your feet there. Lovely, allowing the body to melt down. And we're going to turn the right toes out ever so slightly. Pop a softness in the knees. You walk your hands round to that right foot. You might keep them on the inside. You might have one hand on either side of the foot. Walking ourselves back through center. Turning those left toes out ever so slightly, softening the knee as you allow the body to drape over the left leg. Let's walk our way all the way back through center. Now, turning your right foot towards the top of the mat, you're going to bring both hands to frame that right foot. So all 10 toes are now facing the same direction. Let's take that right arm up into a twist. Breathing in, left hand stays on the floor. And as you breathe out, let's bring the hand down. Option downward dog, or join me, right leg lifting, three-legged dog, reaching up, beautiful. And then bringing both feet down to the floor. Option to have a rest or join me in plank as you inhale, rolling the body forwards. And as you exhale, knees down, chest down. Healing up into that little cobra as you breathe in. And breathing out, toes tuck, hips lift, downward facing dog. I'm just going to turn onto the other side of my mat, so I'll be on the right leg as you. Beautiful. Pausing in that downward dog. You can always have a little rest in child pose, taking a break when you need to. Let's try that on the left side. So as you raise the left leg, really try and come onto the ball of the underneath foot to give you some space. Breathing in and then breathing out, stepping or helping left foot forwards this time between your hands. Give it a hand if it doesn't get there. Walk it to the middle of your mat as you drop that back heel in. And then we windmill the arms up and out to the side into our warrior two. Take your time, make those little adjustments. You might need to widen your stance so your knee is on top of your ankle. Check that back arm isn't dropping there. Sometimes we forget it. So just check that the arm is level with the shoulder. That's it. And then left palm turning up. Breathing in, we reverse our warrior, just like we did when we were on the mat. And as you exhale, hand or forearm coming down, we look up as we reach the top arm up and over. Lovely. So once more, arcing the body back on an inhale. And as you exhale, forearm to thigh, or drop the hips and bring that hand down a little deeper. Lovely. We'll find our warrior two. As you straighten the legs, again, all 10 toes pointing to the long edge of the mat. Shorten your stance if you're very wide, heels in, toes out, and we'll sink the body down. So again, checking that lower back stays nice and long so we're not poking the bottom out. Relax the arms, ready for our little Qigong. So as we inhale, arms float up, gaze lifts. Exhaling, so we're leading with the underside of the wrist now, painting that imaginary wall in front of you. So keeping the knees squeezed out to the side, rising up. Try not to rush this one, really try and slow it down with your breath. I know it's a complete kind of antithesis with how most of us have to spend our days rushing from thing to thing, but this is our kind of counterbalance to all of that, isn't it? That time to slow things down, which can be a real challenge actually. Last one, inhale. Oh, that's nice. Looking up and then exhale, gaze coming down. Let's reach up, turning all 10 toes forwards as you inhale. Ready for that forward fold now. So we'll come all the way down over the legs, making those little adjustments. So again, maybe pigeon toeing your feet slightly, just staying in your forward fold. Or going ahead, we'll turn the left toes out this time. Softening the knee, we'll walk the body round to the left. Allow the body a moment just to melt down over that left leg. Before we come all the way back through center. And then over to the right side, turning the toes out ever so slightly, softening the knee, so take the heat out of the hamstring. That's it. And then coming all the way back through center. Continuing now to walk your way round, so your hands frame your left foot pointing forwards. We'll lower the hips, and this time we'll take the left arm up on an inhale, right hand stays on the floor, and exhale, bringing the hand down. So a downward dog, or joining me, left leg lifting, three-legged dog, all the way up and back, and then both feet come down to the floor. Rolling the body forwards as you inhale, maybe the knees stay lifted this time as you lower yourself down. Healing the chest up, little baby cobra, inhale. Exhale, lift the hips, downward facing dog. And from your downward dog, take a little walk forwards, feet coming towards your hands, into that nice forward fold. So allow the knees to bend generously, maybe cradle the elbows with opposite hands as you have a little sway from side to side. If you don't like being in a forward fold today, then just lift your chest and rest your hands on your thighs there, so your head is higher than your heart. Lovely. And then letting go of the elbows, let the arms dangle in front of you, really press into your feet as you round up through the spine, rolling yourself up slowly to stand. Taking your time, head comes up last. Lovely. Let's bend the knees, sweep the arms out and up, breath in. We're losing my arms today, I'm afraid. Exhale, hands to heart. I'll adjust the camera in a minute. So bend the knees, arms sweep up, inhale. Gorgeous. Hands to heart, exhale. Let's see if this changes. So yeah, you can see a bit more here. Last one, inhaling up. And then we'll keep the hands together at the heart now, bringing the feet hip width apart. So let's take a nice deep breath in, and as you breathe out, hips drop back. We're going to come into a little chair pose. So as you drop your hips back, just check your knees aren't knocking inwards. Knees roughly on top of your ankles. So if you're finding that a little challenging to keep your heart lifted, then just lift up out of your legs a little bit. If you can, we're going to reach the arms forwards and then take them up into a nice generous V shape. So we allow the shoulders to soften there. Lovely. Now as you straighten the legs, rising up, we're going to draw the hands back. So palms are facing forwards, back of the hands lead the way. Maybe lift your chest as you look up. We'll breathe in. And as you breathe out, we'll sink all the way back down into that chair pose. Lovely. So breathing in, we rise up, pulling the hands gently back, opening up through the chest, maybe lifting the gaze. And exhale, sinking the hips back. Lovely. But this time as you straighten up, you maybe want to lift up onto the balls of the feet, little balance challenge. Keep the gaze forward for that one. And lower yourself down, lovely. So inhaling, lifting up, maybe adding that little cheeky balance at the top on the balls of the feet. And exhale into that chair pose, lovely. So this time we're going to rise on up. Now you might just want to keep the heels down, or as you lift up onto the balls of the feet, see if you can stay there now. As you sweep the arms out to the side, up above the head, little wibble wobbles. And then as you drop the heels, we'll bring the hands down to the heart. Beautiful, breathing in, breathing out back into that chair pose. Now a little challenge here in the chair pose. You can miss this bit out if you want to. So we'll reach the arms up and out into that lovely wide V shape. Keeping the heart lifted. See if you can lift your right heel up off the floor. And then drop it back down. And then the left heel. Oh, still get the legs right it. And now can you lift both heels up? Oh, great to straighten the ankles. Can you rise on up? Wibbly wobbly legs. Rise on up, beautiful. And then sweep the arms out to the side as you lower the heels and bring the hands to the heart. Oh, that will get the legs right in. Give the legs a little shake. That will warm us up this morning. So shifting the weight into your left foot, let's find our tree pose with the right foot. So you might just want to spin your heel to rest on the top of the foot, use the floor as a kickstand, or bring that foot a little bit higher up today. So if you've got the foot above the knee, make sure you're not bumping the hips out to the side. So let's all pull up nice and tall with our standing leg, lovely. Option to stay there or come with me. So we're going to arrow the arms up, reaching up, breath in. As you breathe out, we'll circle the arms all the way down. And then breathing in, bringing the hands back to the heart. Beautiful. So option just to work on balance. Or this time we'll breathe in as you sweep the arms down. All the way up. And then all the way back down to the heart. Lovely. So if you want a little balance challenge with me today, let's take the arms up into that lovely generous V shape again, lifting your chest a little bit higher. If you want a challenge in your balance, look up. Look up towards the ceiling, lift your heart. Oh, and then slowly, slowly, hands coming down and foot coming to floor. It's amazing how well done with that balance. So just shifting the gaze can really affect the balance there. So well done for trying that one. Let's try that on the other side. So as you bring your left heel up into your tree pose. So if you just want to stay here, if you just want to work the arms today, then feel free to do that. If you're joining me in tree pose, again, if you're bringing your foot above your knee, make sure you're not bumping the hips out to the side. Ooh, a little bit wibbly wobbly on this side. So you can stay here, or we'll try the arm movement. So we take a slow movement up, and then an equally slow movement all the way out to the side, and back up to the heart. And then we reverse it, so arms coming down, lifting all the way up. Beautiful balance. This is my wibbly wobbly side. And then hands coming down. Beautiful. So you might want to stay here. You might want to take that little challenge, lifting the arms, lift your chest a little higher, and then maybe just lift your chin, lift your gaze up towards the ceiling. So it's not a back bend, we're just taking the gaze up. And then taking the gaze slowly forwards. Hands coming back to heart. Foot coming to floor. It's amazing how just changing that shift of focus can change the focus of a stretch, isn't it? So let's bend the knees, sweep the arms out and up. Big breath in. Breathing out all the way down, hinging forwards into your forward fold. Fingertips to floor, shins or thighs. We'll find that halfway lift, that flat back. Breathing in. As you breathe out and step back into your downward dog, we'll take the feet a little bit wider apart. Dropping down onto your knees, so knees slightly wider than hips. Big toes point together. And let's take the elbows out nice and wide so you can stack the hands, one on top of the other. And rest your forehead on the back of your hands so your heart can sink down, your chest and your belly, you've got a little bit of space there. So you might feel a little softening between the shoulder blades or broadening across the chest. Just take a couple of nice grounding breaths there. Landing back on our mats this morning. Lovely. And then we'll extend the arms out in front of you. So keeping the knees wider, come up onto the finger pads of your right hand and let's just feed the left arm underneath for a little shoulder stretch there. So trying to roll that right armpit up towards the ceiling. A little opening through the upper back there. And then we'll swap sides. So coming up onto the fingertips, tips of the thumb and the left hand, feeding the right arm underneath. Rolling that top armpit up toward the ceiling. And then coming all the way back through the center, walking the hands back towards your knees so you can lift your chest. Beautiful. We'll draw the knees together, drop the hips to one side and swing both legs out in front of you. So you can pop a bend in your knees this morning. So you sweep both arms up, breath in. And breathing out, we'll come down over the legs. So you might have the hands on either side of your thighs, your shins. Some of you might find your feet. Some of you with a sore back might want that more restorative pose of a deep bend in the knees. Wrap your hands around the backs of your thighs and just support yourself in that forward fold. So wherever you are this morning, just try and relax. Relax the head. Maybe have the head a little shake there. Couple of breaths. And so interestingly, these more inward poses, we tend to look down. So they're to be more introspective, more reflective, which is a great thing, but maybe not if we're in that position all the time. We need to kind of look up, engage with the world around us, beautiful world around us. Let's walk our way back up the legs. I'm going to draw that right heel in towards you. And just allow the knee to drop open out to the side. So if you want to pop something underneath your knee, or keep both legs extended if that's more comfortable, go ahead. Breathing in, reaching up. Breathing out, we'll come down over the left leg. So try not to tilt the body to one side or the other. Ease our way down. Lovely. Walking the hands back up the legs. Let's take that left leg out on the diagonal. So adjust that right heel in towards your bottom. Left hand onto your thigh. We'll reach up, look up, and breathing out. Let's come over into a lovely side bend. Lovely, reaching up. We'll bring the right hand down behind the hip, point the toes, sweep that left arm in front of the face, and maybe as you look down, sweep the hips forward so you lift your bottom. Lovely, let's come all the way back down. Left hand to shin or thigh, breath in. Breathing out as we come over the top. Inhaling to center. And as you exhale, point the toes and sweep that left arm in front of the face, looking down as you push the hips forwards. Lovely, let's come all the way back through the center, extending both legs now, giving them a bit of a shake. And then breathing in, reaching up. And breathing out, folding yourself forwards over the legs one last time. Again, you can add that generous knee bend. Keep the chin in ever so slightly as you ease your way down over the legs. And walking your way back up. Left heel coming in so we can allow the knee to drop out to the side. Again, propping something underneath it if you need to. Inhaling, reaching up, and exhaling forwards and down. So the tendency is to kind of lean over to one side or the other. So see if you can keep the body over that right leg. Brilliant. And then hands walking back. Let's take that leg out on the diagonal. So right hand to thigh or shin as you reach the left arm up. Breath in. And breathing out, coming over the top. Breath in to reach up. And as you breathe out, hand coming down, pointing the toes and maybe sweeping the hips up, and we take the gaze down. Lovely. Let's drop the hips, sweep the arm in front of the face, hand to thigh or shin, breath in to reach up. Breath out as you tuck the chin in and reach over the top. Lovely. Breathing in. Last time to breathe out, hand coming down, maybe sweeping the hips forwards. Beautiful, let's come all the way down. Give the legs a little shake, shake. And then we'll bend the knees. If you want to pop a jumper on as we ease our way back down, coming all the way down, bringing the knees with you, giving them a little squeeze, and maybe having a gentle rock from side to side. Beautiful. Let's let that left foot come to the floor, knee points up towards the ceiling, keeping the right leg hugged in, holding on around the back of the leg. One last lovely hamstring stretch. So drop some weight into the back of the pelvis there. And if you want to slide that left heel away from you now, so pressing both heels away from you, so all 10 toes coming towards you. Option to lift head and shoulders as you slide your way up that right leg. Got an itchy nose. Not the best time to have an itchy nose, is it? Chin tucking in. Lovely. Lower yourself down. And bringing that right knee in towards the chest. This time, left hand on right knee. Just let the right arm drop alongside you. And rolling onto the outside edge of the left leg, carrying that right leg with you just for a little twist there. Not worried if the shoulder blade's lifted, if the knee isn't reaching the floor, just getting a little rotation there. Lovely. Coming back onto your backs. Just bringing that right foot to the floor. Knee points up towards the ceiling as you slide the left heel in. Bringing that knee up towards the chest. And then go ahead and stretch it up and away from you. Again, soften the shoulders, relax the face. And if it feels good now, legs feel a little warmer, you can slide the other leg out nice and long. So right heel pressing into the mat. Option to roll yourself up. So chin tucking in as you bring that leg in a little bit closer. That's it. And then as you lower yourself down, bringing that knee back in towards the chest. One last little squeeze. Right hand on the knee this time. Let the left arm just drop alongside you as we roll onto the outside edge of that right leg, carrying that left knee across the body. Lovely. And then gently roll yourself back onto your back. Let's slide both legs away from you now. Float both arms back above the head. And again, if you want to have that little wiggle into your hips, stretching out through the body, feel free. Take one nice deep breath into all of that space you've lovingly created this morning. And then as you exhale, float the arms back down alongside you. Just turning the palms up towards the ceiling, a little bit of space between your little fingers and the sides of the body. Have a little roll across your heels, let your toes flip-flop in and out a little. And then allow your toes to stay open and out to the side. I'm just going to come up to seated so I can talk to you. Take a moment now to let the body just come to a comfortable position just for a minute or so. Lovely. After that movement, a little bit of time to allow the body to rest and digest the effects of all of that movement. Blood pumping. So maybe this week, even though it's colder, might be the week to wrap up nice and warm. Go and see the glory of Mother Nature as the seasons change. It's interesting. My husband, who lived in Africa for some time, said one of the things he missed when he was living away, even though it was warm and beautiful for most of the year, he really missed that change in seasons, the different colours, the different smells, the different feel that each season seems to bring. So maybe now, even though all of us like the cold, acknowledging the beauty of each season, looking up. Let's take a couple more nice deep breaths there. And if you want to stay there for a little bit longer this morning, I can just turn the camera off for you, so feel free to stay there for as long as you need. If you feel ready to join the rest of the day, hopefully feeling a little bit more stretched and refreshed, go ahead and bring some movement back into your body nice and gently. Roll across the back of the head and wiggle of fingers and toes. Maybe unfurling back into that lovely full body stretch for a moment before you bring the knees back in towards your chest. Rolling over onto one side and then coming up to seated when you're ready. Let's go ahead and bring those fingertips down alongside you. So again, you get the sense of lifting up through the chest, lifting up and out of the hips a little bit. Lovely. And then when you're ready, let's look up one last time, reaching the arms up as you breathe in. As you breathe out, chin to chest, hands to heart. I leave you with these lovely words by John Muir, who wrote, every walk in nature, one receives far more than he seeks. So true, isn't it? So on that lovely note, namaste. May you have some lovely wintry walks. Just wrap up nice and warm this week, I think. And thank you. It is chilly here today.